Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Hi. I
Hi.
just wanted to come on at this time of the afternoon to I need to talk to Janet, and Janet would also like to talk to you as well of some upcoming changes. And we will do that in 30 seconds. And we're back. All right. What I want to do is go ahead and turn the platform over to Janet, and she would like to go ahead and fill you in on what's about to be, or some changes that are about to be made on her behalf.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much, everybody. I know it's unusual and we came on like out of nowhere, but there were a few changes since my live show this morning. My original intention was to have just a standard video upload sent to you guys between 5 and 7 o'clock tonight, as I mentioned on my earlier live show. But that has changed. And in a way, I wanted it. I wanted that change, and it's a change for the better because I believe that the show that I want to talk about is that important that I really wanted to go over it in a live manner. What I want to do, basically, what the show is about, you're probably wondering, well, what is this show about? This show is specifically for people that, let's say, are on SNAP benefits, or let's just say a very tight budget. Okay. So if a person is not on SNAP benefits, but is on a fixed amount of benefits, this is about grocery shopping planning. I have a little bit of a list. No, actually, I have a specific chart, and I'm going to try to pull it up in my trusty notebook. Thank you, Steve, by the way, for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And for everyone that came here, I've been working on a chart. It's like a couple of pages, okay? And I've been working on this thing and working on this thing because what I did was I planned and created a presupposed, not so much a menu of meals, okay, but categories of things that I believe in my heart of hearts that a family of four could not just sustain themselves, but feel like they have a whole lot of, okay? So I feel who's ever truly interested, and that's why I'm giving this heads up, and thanks to the platform of Steve, I could do this right now. I just want to say that if you're truly interested and this is for you, head on over to my live show tomorrow on the Jan from New York City Saves Money channel. Okay. And if you're new to that channel, then I welcome you. And what you could do is consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss it. Okay. This is really important. So take your pen with you or whatever. Like I said, I lined up a category list. You know, we're living in hard times, obviously. And the best thing we could all do is try to make the best of everything that we have, working with what we have. Therefore, I have a specific list of items that, in my honest opinion, would be really, really helpful. And of course, I engage with the audience, and you guys can offer suggestions for the list. And actually, I welcome that. So we could all help each other. The best thing all of us can do at this challenging time, if you will, is help each other. So that's why I sat down and planned that. I just couldn't fit it in, Steve, into like a 15-minute video format. I just felt that it needs to be just more fluid and discussed in depth, if you will. And with the freedom of the live broadcasting, we can do just that. So I really do appreciate your having me here for that, Steve. Thank you so much. And of course, you know, if you want to talk about other stuff as well, I have another point I'd like to make, Steve. And basically, it is this that basically we really need to stop thinking of money as not money. We have a very bad habit because years ago, when people got cash, they worked with green. It was tangible, it was touchable, it even had a smell to it, if you will. Today, we're so used to cash being on plastic that we don't pay any attention. It's so abstract. We are not taking it as seriously as actual cash, but it's actual cash. I'll get more in depth into that. This is the kind of thing that I'm going to speak about tomorrow. What do you say about that, Steve, about how people handle cash a lot in an abstract way? What's your view on that?
Well, I I feel that people, especially I guess with the pandemic and the way things are now, um, when it comes to money, um, I would say this. I would say this is probably more of a time you want to focus on needs more than you do wants. I mean, wants, don't get me wrong, that's always going to be there. Uh, I'm not saying you can't treat yourself at some point, but I would have to say right now, for the moment, focus on survival, food on the table, overhead,
Absolutely.
your bill,
Absolutely. Yes, you're so right. Thank you so much for saying that. Yes.
and then who knows? I mean, after all of your bills have been paid, everything, and you look at the bottom number and see how much money's left. One of two things. Then you might be able to think about that need, or I mean, not the need, but the want. Or better yet, this is another thing that I used to do. This is before I, got credit cards. Save up for it. If you want to buy something that's $300, take $75 in the course of 4 months, and you'll have it. And
So 100% right.
and most people don't realize technology is always changing. So the model you may want, they may come out with a new model by the time you have the money built up and saved up.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Steve. I mean, aside from like grocery things, because the groceries is what I'm focusing on tomorrow, but I'm really glad you mentioned technology. You're right. Now, some people have become slaves to the newest, the brightest, the prettiest color. You got to have. Hey, that could be a big waste of money at times because sometimes the upgrade may not be as great as you might have thought it was. If your phone, for example, is causing you no harm and doing a great job, in my opinion, this is my opinion, why fix what, quote, ain't broke? This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
In that interim, while you're not shopping for that needless item at the moment, put money away for an actual emergency. Listen, if your phone breaks down, well, yes, today it is very difficult. But it is not the same as if your refrigerator breaks down. It is still not the same if your car breaks down. To me, you have to this is my opinion and my priorities, okay? But I'm just saying, all right, if my phone breaks down, well, sorry, channel, you just have to wait a few months. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I have a backup plan. Always have a backup plan, and that's what you're saying, right, Steve? To always have that backup plan.
Absolutely. You have to have something to fall back on. Well, actually, you kind of want to have the plan made up beforehand. So when you get there, you're not panicking. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, my car. No. If you thought it out ahead of time, don't worry about that.
No, I'm not.
If you think it out ahead of time, everything will play out smoothly. The money will be there. You take your car if it breaks down. Find, if you have a good mechanic you trust that you've had for years, it's all smooth sailing. But you got to have a pre-plan or a pre-thought and have it all work.
You're so right, Steve. And I could use this analogy because everybody who's viewing this, and let me tell you something, it always reminds me of this. How many times have you viewed when people are warned and warned for days, right, by the weather people? We're going to have a blizzard. We're going to have a blizzard. We're going to have a blizzard. Sometimes that weather tracker can tell you 10 days in advance because we're so highfalutin tech these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is to our advantage. What does that do? It gives me time, you time, whatever, to make sure we have our provisions. So it's not a big shell shocker. I can't tell you how many people ignore the warning, then they go to the long line place, and guess what? Nothing's left. Why act that way? Like you weren't told that there's going to be a blizzard for they usually plaster this thing, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your television, whether it's on your radio. The news is there. That's where the planning begins. With the first notice you hear of that possibility, check your pantry. Do you have enough? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and especially again, and I've mentioned it on many occasions. I live in Florida. What is Florida known for? Pretty easy. Two things. One primarily is a hurricane. The second one, a tornado, is not too far behind. You always want to have, I always make sure I've got plenty of canned goods. I have 2 manual can openers on hand at all times. If I have the desire to want some cereal or something, this is where one of 2 milks would come in handy. I'm sure, my subscribers, and even some of yours that have came over here. Parmalat milk is a good one. Little bit expensive, but it's worth having. But you don't need delicious. You don't need that. Or go back to when our parents' time, non-fat dry milk.
They knew what they were doing.
That probably has a longer and more stable shelf life than the Parmalat does because it's nothing but powder until you use it.
Right. So, the other analogy is, I didn't know Christmas is on December 25th. That's kind of like a given. Almost everyone knows Christmas is on December 25th. So where's the shell-shocking part of, but I'm not ready? And what? You have a whole year to get ready if you really want to. But that's with planning. But I do want to mention, Steve, that's pertinent to tomorrow's show, okay?
Mm-hmm.
People who are on a fixed benefit card, no matter where it comes from, whether it's SNAP, whether it's some other organization, whatever it is, whether it's a government issue check to you, that is a fixed number. That's a different world, Steve, than people who are not living paycheck to paycheck. People who are not living paycheck to paycheck, they don't have maybe such stringent ideas. But it is a mistake to think that you can go out. I hate to use this word every time, Steve. If you are on SNAP, let's say you only get $194, just using that as an analogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the time to go out and buy $30 steaks or lobsters? Is that the time to buy the one-time use only purchase and chunk that out? In my opinion and in logic, it makes no sense. I've seen people do it. I understand people don't want to feel, that sense of deprivation. So, okay, so you get it out of your system. Oh, man, that steak was real good. Yeah, right? Okay. I agree. Can't beat those. Filet mignon, porterhouse, all those other expensive things. Then reality sets in, and all of a sudden, you're in the skinny chicken time of the month, and you open your freezer, and it's like, just think of how many things, and I'm going to reiterate this on my live show tomorrow. I didn't mean to delve into that point right now, but I just got too excited. Yeah. $30 instead of going to that one-time use item can go for $30 of how many nights food? I'm frugal. I could stretch that $30, and so are you, proud to say. We are careful. We would know how to stretch that. We are not going to run out and buy porterhouse steaks if we're on a totally, and that's not to say that people don't crave it. Yes, I know. But you know what? Drastic times takes what? Drastic measures.
Well, what you do, now this is smart shopping right here. Most people don't think about this. You would, I would. Again, basing it, let's say the 194 total. Okay. Find out how many weeks you have in that month.
Amen.
Take that amount of weeks, if it's 4, divide it into 194. That's going to give you about what, $48, $49 a week. If you know how to shop, you can actually buy pretty good food on $50. I've done it. For example, I talked about it the other day on my other live. Lentils, that's what, $1.20, $1.30 a bag?
And it yields so much.
It does. A half a bag will serve about 3 people. I know that as a fact. There's so many different. You can buy
Small bag of rice to go with the lentils. Nothing's more delicious than lentils with rice, and a little bit of tomato sauce on top of that.
Right.
A little 8-ounce can goes far.
Yeah, I mean, the rice. I mean, again, the rice I prefer to use is a jasmine rice. It's a very good quality if you've never tried it.
Yeah, I've had it.
It's just something about the texture of that one. Once you go that route, you kind of don't want to go back to the other one.
It is good quality. If you could get a good quality yarn, nobody's saying go out there and get cheap items. Nobody. Get the best value, but I don't want to give away my whole show.
No. But
I do want to say this, Steve, and I thank you for this because I wanted to correct it for the folks that might have been anticipating my upload. Today I had kind of an off day, but as I was talking to you on video chat as I was charting, I said, you know what? There's so much material on this. I really have to go live. So that'll be the deal. And even if you're not there at the actual live broadcast, there's always replay, playback, and that works for me. And I hope it helps you out. The main thing is to help each other out. And that's the goal. Thank you so much, Steve.
Well, you're welcome. Like I said, no, you've said, your point. You've more than mentioned.
Yes.
Because you definitely don't. I mean, I wouldn't want you to say everything here, because if you're going to say it tomorrow, but.
And I also don't want to intrude on your time.
Oh, well, I don't really, believe it or not, and I guess I'm just going to go wherever the conversation takes me because it's not really. I really don't have anything topic supposedly to discuss. I was trying to, give you the platform to mention for tomorrow, but.
I just think we need to get away from that mindset that, and not just EBT cards or any one specific person or anything. We as human beings have been blindsided by plastic. We are forgetting that this is actual cash. Yeah, it's hiding behind the plastic, and the same theory. Oh well, it's just a credit card. Just rack it all up, all the things that you want, like you're a little kid in a candy store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but people need to be careful. A credit card is. I'm not trying to sound 2-minute detail here. That's their money they trust you with.
Yes, of course.
And the right thing to do.
It's morally right. Forget about not just financially right. It's morally right. The bank trusted that person with that card. If that person has malintent and just runs it all up and could care less, that is not fair to others.
Yeah.
That is not fair to the economy. And it's just wrong.
People need to realize it's a plastic card. You're not opening up your wallet. Oh, I have 30. I have 50. No, people lose. Oh, I love those leather boots. Boom. Oh, I got to have that love seat. Charge that. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that Chef Emerald cookware set. I got to have that. Then before you know it, charge. You get your bill, or you go online and look it up, and you're owing like 6,000-7,000. Oh my God, how did I do this? How did you do that? It's a piece of plastic. You don't know what you're looking at. You're looking at
mindless shopping. And that card is not going to resonate to you and say, stop using me.
It's not going to. No, it's not.
It don't care. It doesn't care.
No.
You have to care. You have to be mindful. All
Yeah,
of
you
us,
do.
not pointing at one or two, all of us, every one of us. You have to be careful. I have to be careful. The whole world, we have to be careful.
Yes, we
'Cause
do.
then- yes, because then otherwise, in other words, that card could also be empowering if you use it properly. You can have a good empowerment with that. Everything used in the right, precise order.
Precise way. Here, all right. Here's a good one. I've said this numerous times on one of your shows in the past. Actually, more
Yeah.
than once. But it never hurts to bring it up because it is true, factual information. I've done it. I do it all the time. Here's what you do. I mentioned save money. All right, if you have a credit card, you want to make a purchase. Okay, let's say you want to go out and buy a $300 Samsung tablet. Okay, I would say save half the money up. Here's a little secret. Then wait until your statement prints. Buy the item. You just bought yourself an extra 4 weeks to pay it. Now
I
keep
love
in
that.
mind you already have half the money.
That's it. Wow, you're ahead of the game.
Right. So then all you got to do is take how many weeks it is, the difference, 150 or whatever, divide that by 8 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever the case, whatever that figure is, make that payment each week. In actuality, stop and think about it. It's almost like a small layaway, but to yourself. And
Is
you have
it possible that that frequent payment like that, Steve, raises a person's credit score?
It does if you're new to establishing credit. If you're a newbie, that's what they want. Any financial institution, if you start off with, they want to see a payment history.
That's wonderful.
I mean, in my case, because I've had credit for the last 24 and a half years going on 25, it really doesn't matter to me because my score is good.
Right.
I mean, I can go in one shot deal, boom, here's your money, and it's a done deal. But my score is already at a decent, I'm happy with what I have, but that's at a decent enough rate. But
you shop for your needs, not your wants. I know you.
Well, no, I've got a couple of wants, but I mean, one of the wants actually was given to me for Christmas, so I'm happy for that.
Right, that worked out.
It did work out, and the person that got it for me got a very good deal, half of what a new one cost, and it was only used twice.
You see,
so I'm not panicking.
Look, you waited, and look at the great things that happened with that by waiting.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I have not. I'm so sorry. This is not. We got so wrapped up, in the course of the conversation. I have a few people in my.
Oh, how nice! Oh, that's wonderful. I don't have a comment section, so I don't.
But I can always relay back what I see. There's a.
Thank you.
Nancy Lehman. Well, hello to you. Good afternoon. Yeah,
Hi,
it is a nice surprise. Like I said, I'm trying to play around with the times to see, the frequency of people. Well, hello, Granny T. Nice to see you.
Hi, Granny.
Yes. Jasmine Rice, the way that I was introduced to that, I'll tell a quick story, is I lost a lot of weight back in 2004. I mean, I was way over 300 pounds, extremely high blood pressure. I don't even really know what my cholesterol. And I was introduced to Jasmine Rice. And I tell you, I've been an avid lover of that rice for the last, 17 years coming up. Once you try that, the aroma and the texture, you really don't want to go back to the long grain traditional. Let's see. Granny T says, I originally only used my credit card to pay my bills. I would pay anyways and immediately pay them off. That's good because you avoid the interest charge. As long as you're able to pay it off by the due date, even if you charge it after the statement prints and you buy yourself that extra time, that doesn't mean you have to pay it on that last. You can pay it off as quick as you want. It all depends on you, but that's good because the banks now are charging 13, 14.
That's wonderful, 15. Granny T. Yay.
That high interest, they don't.
I get so happy when I hear that.
And I do agree with you also. She says, lately I haven't been able to pay off immediately. Well, be careful on the balance. The balance is really, if you're able to try to get the balance down as much as you can between, so it doesn't charge you as much. But she says, I'm trying not to use any cards unless absolutely necessary. Agree with that. I do recommend a credit card. Have at least one for emergencies. An emergency, I don't care who you are, is going to happen. Something is going to result.
They will happen.
Yeah, we cannot control an emergency or an occurrence that's going to happen out of our control. It's just going to happen. If it does, then you have, like she says, you have the credit card available to fall back on, But that's good. If nothing else, if you do have to carry a balance, try to keep the balance as low as you can. And I have a ballpark figure that I use that the credit cards use to calculate the interest. And I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you very quickly. You take the interest rate, divide it by 365. That's going to give you a daily periodic rate. You're going to see like 0.0032. You'll see it. Then you're going to go times the amount of dollars that it is, 300, 200, go that times 30 days. Move the decimal point over two spots. That's going to give you an idea of what they're going to charge you. It's usually within $1.50, give or take.
Wow.
It's pretty accurate. It's not the exact amount they're going to charge you, but it's
That's an interesting formula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I established credit back in 96, and then I got my first major credit card in 97, and then 97, 98, I got on the phone and I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I was like the old 80s Inquirer commercial. Inquiring minds want to know. That was me. So I did.
Can I just say something? Please share this video to others who may want to hear that formula. That formula is priceless.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Granny T says, I have 6, laugh out loud, but 4 of them are completely paid off, and hopefully I can get the others caught up in them. Oh, yeah, you'll be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Do not, by all means, please don't do this because you'll never get it paid for. Never make the minimum payment. If you can, double it, triple it at minimum. That way you're putting that extra money on there to help get that balance down. It helps a lot. Oh, and you're more than welcome for the tip. Like I said, a lot of people don't know that little table
formula. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. What a method. What a calculation method. I never heard it. This was the first. And that's why this needs to be shared. And Steve, I can't wait till you hit the magic number of 50. Anybody out there that knows this show is of value for someone else, please share the show, and hopefully they will like and subscribe. We need Steve to hit that 50 mark. He's like 4 subs away.
4. That's it.
Yeah. Oh wow. That would make me personally happy, because
that made me personally happy.
This is a quality show. This is a quality channel.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's funny how I went from turning it over to you about the EBT and the SNAP, and then we go into money, and then it evolved into credit cards. So this is basically like a 3-part show in like roughly 30 minutes.
It really is a value. And I'm not just saying that because you and I are friends. This is how Steve and I speak off camera. I mean, on camera to each other, only privately. We're having like a conversation like we would personally. We're sharing this with you. We believe that all of this information is of value. I'm not going to waste the viewer's time ever on air with silly stuff.
No.
Want to go to silly route? That's totally fine, and your option. But if you're looking for, in my honest opinion, quality content of constructive advice, and that's for you, thank you. We thank you.
Let's see. Thank you, Granny T, for sharing it on Facebook. I really appreciate it to help, get me out there. Rose B says hello to both of us. Hi. Well,
Hey,
good
how
afternoon.
are you?
Thank
Hi,
you for
Rose.
joining us. And thank you again, Granny T. She said, Steve, you have so much valuable information and you will succeed. That means the
So
world to
wonderful.
me, like I
You
said.
are so wonderful, Granny T.
Yeah, and you're awesome too. She says we're both awesome. You're very awesome too. We
Hugs
love
and kisses and best to
you.
your lovely channel.
Yes,
Granny T has her
absolutely.
own channel as well. And if you've not heard of it, you may want to
Yeah.
check it out.
You may
Life with
want,
Granny
I
T.
do recommend, going over to her channel. She's got some really good content as
Very nice content.
yeah. So I'm glad I came on. Like I said, it was primarily just to get a feel for the audience, more or less. Because, like I said, you usually see me come on in the AM, like 7, 6:30, 7:30.
Yeah, we're early birds, aren't we, Steve?
So I got this brainstorm. I'm like, well, why not 4-ish, 4:30? Who knows? You may see me one time come on live at dinner time. Well, I take that back. After dinner, around 7:30, quarter to 8. You never know.
This is a lovely time. In so much as like if for example, we're talking, we're not doing visuals. Somebody could like literally just like listen to us as if a podcast. And that may be the next route for Jen from New York City, podcasting.
Oh,
Maybe the next, yeah. Oh no, I'll still be doing my video
visuals that
lives,
you do? Oh,
but
okay.
they'll be hopefully sent over to podcasting, which may end up on Spotify and all that.
Nancy Lehman says this show has a lot of bang for your buck. I appreciate that, and it's funny that she mentions
Bravo, thank you.
bang for your buck. Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you're guilty of it. I know I am. Whenever I go out and buy something, let's say it's a want,
Yeah,
or even groceries, or I'm comparing 2 items, 3 items.
yeah,
Yes, I want bang for my buck. I want to get the most I can get
yeah.
for a certain amount of money and not always have to buy the very most pinnacle model or one.
Yeah.
If you can save 40, 50, 80, $100 and still get the same features and luxuries and qualities of the higher model,
Maximize your value. Maximize your value as much as possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's see. Granny T says it's 3 p.m. right now. So glad I caught you both. So, okay, so you must be out
You're
west.
glad too.
So she's probably somewhere around the Arizona, New Mexico area. Maybe a certain part of Texas. I know Texas is Central Time. So I'm trying to
Steve's trying to determine your time location.
Oh, so Granny T also said this question is directed to you. Okay, Utah. That never been, but I would love.
Right.
That's on my bucket list. I'd love to see it. The question that Granny T has directed to you, Jan. I'm using your $5 envelope, and it is awesome to watch it grow.
Isn't it the fun, right, Steve? It's the bomb. It is so fun because 5s are easy to remember. 5 is my birthday, so every time you put that 5 in, you're wishing me happy birthday. But 5 is my lucky number. The interesting part is that it grows quickly, but it is not like mind-numbing to do it. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like pretty affordable. But for those who can't, and there might be some at the moment who can't, substitute singles. Whenever you could do the same challenge, just you get a single, put it away. You get a single, put it away. And then eventually you could get to the 5 level. Don't feel left out.
No, because guess what? What is $5 at the end of 1 month? What, 150? 30 times?
Yeah, right.
And then if you really want to get technical, that's what, at the end of a year, that's what, $1,800?
That's nothing to sneeze at. That is literally a vacation possibility or some new furniture, something life-changing, or better still, pay off a debt if you have that debt.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you're in Virginia, Nancy. My sister and her family,
Oh, it's beautiful there.
they live in a town called Lorton, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. Nancy says here, oh, yeah, started the $5 challenge last night.
Oh, I'm so happy
So
for
you have two
you.
people that have started it, Granny T
I
and
heard on my channel too that like a number of people, and kudos to everyone. There's no prescribed formula. I just want to make sure this is clear. There's no prescribed formula. It doesn't have to be like the dollar a day challenge. But it does add up if you happen to have fives every day but to show how exponential it is. However, this is like a no pressure thing in a way. You get a five. The only part of the game that's tricky is you can't touch that five. It's got to go away. Like I said 90 times on the video yesterday, you have to put it away. If you get a little weak in the knees on it, just go back to that video and play it 600 times.
No, you have to be strict on yourself.
Yeah.
And when you take that five and drop it in that envelope, that's dead money. It doesn't.
Yeah. Isn't that more fun, Steve, than taking that same five and buying a cup of coffee that you could just make at home all you want? Really? Really? Or buy a can of coffee that will supply you the entire month? But take that five, if you possibly could, put it away.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Dunkin' Donuts has good coffee. You can go get a yes, the large is like $2.57. I know exactly. I was doing that about a year ago. But I'm perfectly happy going to the store and buying whatever roast Folgers coffee that I want for $6.99. I can make as little as I want, as much as I want. If you want to change the flavor of your coffee, that's what those International Delight and Coffee Mates are for. You can change it up. You can do peppermint, caramel macchiato, whatever flavor, vanilla.
Look at the choices. Goodness gracious. But okay, that's the challenge. Do I be tempted to buy that $5 cup of coffee? Or do I take that five and learn a new habit? Because it's really about replacing old habits, okay? We don't break habits, we replace them. So develop a new habit, substitute the coffee habit for the $5 away habit. And then can you imagine if you keep doing that, like if something else comes up, temptation, you happen to find a $5 bill that you really rather spend on a want, think twice. Wait till the fun you have in 1 year. Like that guy in the video that I attached to the description box below that video. If no one knows what I'm speaking about, for anyone who is not a subscriber or viewer to my channel, head on over to the Jan from New York City Saves Money channel, and I am referring to yesterday's upload about the $5 challenge. And attached in the description box, you'll see a guy going berserk.
Yeah.
And his daughter went crazy. You saw that, Steve?
Yes, I did. I highly recommend watching the video again, as Nancy has started, Granny T has started the challenge. It's very descriptive. You're very thorough about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And again, you don't have to do it with a $5. You go by whatever your income will allow. If it's if $1 is 30 at the end of a month, 30.
That's right. Steve, tell the story of 4 years ago when I would call you up getting all excited about that. Remember when I started that challenge?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I started that challenge, and Steve could verify it, that I would call, oh, I saved another $3. Oh, I saved another $2. Every day, talk about it, because, the bagel story, for the newcomers, I'll talk about it another time.
Bagel. No, if you want bagels, you go to the store and buy a thing of Lender's bagels for like a couple of dollars. And look at all, and even a bagel is a blank canvas. You can put cream cheese on it. You can put egg and sausage, make your own little sandwich.
Do I have a minute to tell your viewers about the bagel story that may be newcomers to your channel? Do you have a second I could tell that?
Sure, if you want to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, because I don't want to, dominate your show. You're the host. But this is too vital, because we're on this subject of saving money. Years ago, for anybody new here, years ago, I had this terrible habit of buying outside bagels to the tune of about $4 a day. That, of
Mm,
course, included a $1 cup of coffee. This is before I got very conscientious about saving.
about
And
saving.
then, yeah, and then I realized, like, wait a minute, I was spending like $28 a week because I
Oh
used
yeah.
to get them every day,
Oh
Steve,
yeah.
remember?
It's expensive.
And in New York, forget about it. Don't even want to go there. 28 times four. Do the math on that. I am shameful about that. But that was the best thing that could have happened because it was an awakening. And I had to share the good news over time. So then I started buying supermarket bagels, toasting them up at home. And it's okay. I saved thousands of dollars by making one
Actually,
minor
yes.
change.
Actually, yes, because at the end of a month, that was $112 just
Yeah.
for the bagel and again, go to the store and get, if you like Folgers, the can around my area, it's about $6.99. If you like Maxwell House, fine. You like 8 o'clock, whatever type of coffee you like, no matter, even the most expensive coffee you can buy in the store is cheaper. Now, you talk about $5 coffee. Again, I know where you can go and spend $5, and it is a coffee place that I don't care for. I'm sorry, guys. I don't
I'm
mean,
with you too on that one.
but I'm not a Starbucks person. To me, the coffee is a little too burnt for me, for my
Not
preference.
for me either. I'm happy with my little instant at home. I have the both. I have the regular one and have the instant one. My preference is instant. I love instant, but look, to each his own. It all depends on your budget. But if you're struggling, you are definitely not in the position to spend $5 on coffee,
You
in
don't
my
have
opinion.
no.
No.
You can go to a store, and I'm sure some some of the subscribers here is familiar. You can go to a store like Aldi,
Yeah.
and you can buy their brand of coffee for like
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah. That's fine. That's a big improvement. That's a big improvement. See what it is, Steve. Pete, not this group, I'm sure, but there are many people who maybe they just haven't had the experience to sit down and face a budget. The ones who don't face a budget every month, you have to face your budget.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, you have
Without
to stare at it. Ever hear of people going, but I don't know where that $200 went? Right? You don't know where. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
You want to eliminate the prob, write it down when you go to do something.
Keep track, yeah.
It's like balancing a checkbook. Remember that?
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
which is what, 100 years ago now?
A
Everything.
dinosaur, as far as I'm concerned.
But think about this. You really don't have to balance a checkbook anymore. Think about your debit, because when you swipe your debit, it's coming out of your bank account.
Yes.
So anybody that does mobile banking or goes on a laptop and
Yeah.
looks up, it's right there.
Yeah. You're right.
It's immediate. So
Yeah. But check your balance to make sure there's no erroneous charges or anything. But I agree with you. It's wonderful that keeps track for you. Absolutely.
Now you can still get checks
Yes.
if you really want to go the 1922 route. I'm just being funny.
No.
But again, as you know, and I'm about to wrap this up pretty soon anyway, my generation. Again, for those that don't know, Janet was a teacher for 7 years. I myself would have been one of her students. I was born in 74. You taught 84 to like 91. So you probably would have had me in your class probably 6th grade. I'm thinking, give or take.
Absolutely. That you're definitely the generation that I taught. Absolutely.
But you did have something that you pointed out. My generation, 1 foot in the old and 1 foot in the new.
Yes, you guys, absolutely. You're blessed that way.
But a lot of the things that I do, I'm still more in the old.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like the modern. I like being able to go online, click, 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 and I paid a bill. I love that.
agree. And I'm an old lady and I feel that way.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Years ago, it was money order, the stamp, write it out, drop it in the mailbox. Remember
Yes.
those days? You had to
I
mail it.
do. Where will we have been now? And I know you want to close the show. I'm just going to mention one important point. Think about something. If not for current technology, where would we be now? Well, first of all, I wouldn't be on a live show with Steve on
No,
the internet, looking at my favorite people on planet Earth, right?
right.
You guys. It's just, but but yet there's still something to be said about certain old methods that grandma was right in many ways.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rose B, coming back to the Starbucks
Yeah,
thing, just to tap,
sure.
he says, I agree with you. That coffee tastes burnt and is too expensive.
Yeah, thank you.
It really is. And another thing about Starbucks that I don't like and is they don't support the military. I have a problem with that.
Oh, I have a problem with that. That's not cool.
My father
Yeah. Yeah.
served 24 years in the U.S. Navy from
Bravo.
1957 to 81.
Bravo.
And me being a military brat, even though when I was born, he was pretty much on the tail end of his, of his military career. My sister saw more because she's a little older than me. But if you don't support the military, you don't need my business.
That's a thumbs down for me on that because my dad was a World War II vet.
So,
and it's just like that generation was like one of the greatest generations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's hurtful to hear that. I'm sorry. I don't like that.
Yeah, it goes a little deeper than that, but I'm not going to go into detail.
Well, that's another show. But Steve, thank you so much for that opportunity of being able to mention, the switching that, of course, there's no video upload, but there will be a live show that we can, I can rather get in depth. Steve, I know that you're more than welcome to join me tomorrow, but I don't know your schedule, but the invitation is always there. Okay. But I want to present more the categories of the food, and then you guys figure out your method of planning, but we'll get into that tomorrow. Bring a pen. Did I actually say that? Yeah. That like long thing that has ink in it. Sorry, just kidding.
What do you mean this?
I got one too. I'm old school. I look at notebooks, pens.
I'm already ahead of the game because it's already here on my table, so I'm set.
I use penmanship.
I just need to get paper. I don't have that, but yeah. Oh, and in closing, to wrap up, Nancy Lehman says, I have a huge problem with not supporting the military. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Again, my father, deceased now, thank you for his service. Thank you for your dad's service. Anybody,
thank you, yours, yes.
Anybody who has served in the military, thank you for. But my dad came in later. He was more of the Vietnam.
Yeah, sure, of course. Mm-hmm.
Although a lot of people thought this kind of threw me for a loop. A little quick story. I met this one guy. He says, "Oh, is that your grandfather?" I said, I looked at him. I guess the guy thought I was younger than what I am.
Could be.
I said, no. I said, that's my father. Oh, your dad. Oh, so he served in Korea, right? I looked at him again. Keep in mind, my dad was born in 1939. So when the Korean War started, he was only 11, maybe 12. By the time it ended, he was 14, so he wasn't old enough to go in the military.
That guy was slightly off.
I said, no, my father was a Vietnam veteran. Oh, well, I just looked at him and walked off. Not that I was trying to be mean, but, oh, hi, Debbie. Hey, good to see you. I'm like I said, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I'm just messing around with the numbers right now. I just want to see in the early, versus my morning lives versus in the afternoon. I just want to see what kind of frequency I have and what kind of audience. So that's why, I'm here.
And it was a wonderful opportunity. Thank you for letting me mention about the scheduling change.
What you had to say. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Janet, it's been fun. I really appreciate
you. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yes. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Jan will be going live at 10 a.m., I believe, right?
10 o'clock tomorrow. Bring a pen. For those who have fixed benefits, for those who have SNAP, and for those who just simply want to stretch their food budget.
Food budget. Very good. Okay. That works for me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Janet. Well, it was nice having you on, and I want to
Thank you
thank
so
all of
much.
you for tuning in. And you might see me tomorrow on Jan's Live. I'm not sure of my schedule just yet,
No
but
worries, Steve. No worries.
okay. All right, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye,
See you next
everybody.
time.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, Deb.
Bye, Debbie. Bye, everybody.
Bye, bye, everyone.